Hi everyone and welcome back to the Rick Pods. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. You join me today for a Chinese New Year special, and it's also city update time. So we've been building quite a lot of the Chinese New Year sets over the last month, and also we did all of our Ninjago City sets as well, which you would have seen a video on last week. So let's head up to the Lego room and see how they all look together. So we're here in the Lego room and it's very much a work in progress. So we'll start by showing you what's happened to the winter village. As you can see, it's completely chaotic in there. There's pieces everywhere, tubs of pieces. I mean, it's just a general mess. Ian is in the zone making the mountain, and I'd love to help him, but my arms don't reach to the mountain, so it's definitely his job. So the plan here with the mountain is that we are going to be putting another sort of layer here for a whole bunch of sets, but these holes are for some of the Winter Village sets to sort of slot into. So we obviously want to be able to get them in and out so we can do our winter display downstairs every year. But we also want to maximise the amount of space we've got. So if we can slot them into the tunnel where the train's going to go, that's going to help us preserve a bit of space because we can then build on top of them. There is going to be another layer up here, which is where we're going to put Elsa's ice castle. But we're just waiting on parts really. So you can see here we've got the forbidden fruit mountain. No, the legendary fruit mountain. There's no forbiddenness about that. So we've made that a little bit, I think we had to rejig the tables a little bit to make sure that that followed on from the mountain. So we're going to have a waterfall coming right from the top all the way down here. So Ian's been trying to make our park area a little tidier. So we've got the castle in the forest and the blacksmith, then the tree house and the Ewok village. So that's part of this area, but the main thing that I'm working on is trying to understand where our Ninjago land and Chinatown area is going to be. So that's over here. So we spent ages putting these sets into different positions. They're big sets, and we're kind of, the rules we're trying to be making it look good, but also making it logistically not a nightmare for walking past, because some of these sets are really tall. Ninjago City Gardens, I've taken the top off because I was trying to reach over, so I'll put that back on in a minute. But we've decided, I think, to put City on the edge here, and that's because I really love that view. So as you come into the Lego room, that's what you're going to see, and it's also quite a nice little entrance to the water there. And we're going to try and have the water from the waterfall sort of come along down here. And you can see we've got the dragon boats there as well. So that's going to be part of that water. And then it can sort of feed into here. I'm not entirely sure how we're going to end the water on this side, but we're going to work it out. So next to the city, we've got the docks. And Ian and I both agreed that this side of the docks was the one we liked best. There's way more detail in there, so we figured we'd put it on this side. So it works well with the fact that the docks, the city's on that way around as well. But then we wanted to see this side of gardens, so we've pushed that back. As you can see, it doesn't line up. And I think this is not really how it's meant to go, but that's how we've decided we want it, because there's nothing here, so it doesn't sort of lead out into a roof, whereas on the other side, on this side of gardens, there is a little door here, and that would have then stepped out onto that roof, and you also lose some of the walkway down here and that little balcony, so this preserved those bits better. It does look beautiful, doesn't it? And I don't think it's too bad a view here for the back of City. I mean, it's quite an ugly lift shaft, but you're never really going to be looking from this view too much. And you've got all of this awesomeness kind of detracts from that, so it's fine. Ian and I both agreed that this little temple thing was kind of annoying to place, and actually we're fine to just forget that it even exists. I'm not really sure why they added that onto the set, so not bothered about that. We've got the Spring Lantern Festival here, which we're not entirely sure how to get into the city or whether to have it on the outskirts as well. You'll see that the bull is missing from that, and apparently it's been replaced by a Duplo sheep and a baby sheep. Just being silly in here, to be fair. But yeah, the bull I'll show you in a little bit because we're going to switch that up. The plan is also to switch these little lanterns out for the tiger ones, but because Bricks and Pieces is so backed up at the moment with the switch over to the hub, those haven't arrived yet, so that's a shame, but I'm sure they'll arrive at some point this year. There's the top of gardens there. So we had this Chinese New Year Temple Fair sort of temple at the very end of our road, and I quite like the way that looks, but I don't really like the way it looks next to gardens, so I'm going to have to try and work out a better way to put that in. But it's staying there for now, and behind it I've just sort of arranged some of the Chinese New Year sets in a mock layout to try and work out if I like that. So we've got the lion dance directly behind it, all the temple stalls there, and the lions in the middle, and that's the arch as well from lion dance. Across the track you've then got Story of Nian, and I put the Nian itself on its way into the city. I wasn't sure whether that was the best place, but it always looks oversized in Story of Nian. I guess it's meant to be, but and then you've got the ice rink thing over there, ice festival, and as you can tell, it's been completely destroyed before it came up here by my kids. You've also got Ian's little stash of Ferrero Rocher there. He comes up to do the mountain and eats all the chocolates so that I don't get any, which is just mean. This is my biggest headache, is the City of Lanterns. So I love this set, and we got it and we were really excited about it, but it's a very standalone kind of city. It doesn't really gel in with the rest. And I don't really want to take just the shop elements out because I kind of feel like that's wasting half the stuff. Oh, sorry, the light was annoying me. It's making a buzzing noise. So we have to try and work out how to integrate this, and I like the train element, so I'm hoping to maybe get the train going sort of round the inside of Ninjago City, but that seems like a lot of work. But it's definitely going to stay in there somehow, but we might have to do some heavy reconfigurations to make it work. The only other Chinese New Year set that I haven't got up here, I was too lazy to go and get it just now, is the Dragon Dance. And that one, you've got like a little handle to turn it round and make the dragon move. But the mechanics of that is quite high, so I don't know how to really get that in. But I would like to get that in, and I'd love to get it motorised, but I think Ian told me that was too much to motorise. He's concentrating just on the fairground, but I'd love to have the whole city motorised at some point. So Ian's also been working on getting the Minecraft mountain on this edge of our mountain, just because he had that set, he liked the set, and he wanted to include it somehow. But the rest is pretty much as is before. I think the last update we had loads of pumpkins and monsters in town, and those are all still in there because I've not tidied those up yet. So everything else as is, really. So let me show you the backlog cupboard. So as is tradition, this is the backlog cupboard. I've done a lot of sorting out, so I've put it into categories, so you can see that we've got a vast amount of Harry Potter stuff, and none of it's really built. All we've got is half of Diagon Alley in the city and Hogsmeade. I have no idea where this is going. I think it's going to be a separate diorama, but I haven't got around to building in it. This is our Friends, City and Hidden Side shelf. And then the bigger sets at the bottom, so the rest of Diagon Alley and the Daily Bugle. And then the Ninjago movie set. Is that the Destiny's Bounty? I think that's Destiny's Bounty down there. And then a whole load of Amelia Earhart's, because, you know, somehow we ended up with a vast quantity of those in there. The backlog is also kind of under the table now as well. This is my elves pile, so I'm slowly trying to collect all of the elves sets. And then this is where all the parts end up in just like a bag and on the floor. My daughter likes to go through this bag and then empty them onto the floor as well. So it's definitely needs a bit of tidy up, but I'm happy with the progress up here. I think we've made really good progress, and I think this is going to take a while to get right. But right now, having those Ninjago City sets in there looks really good from both angles. Let me know what you think. So as I mentioned, the ball is missing from the Spring Lantern Festival. You'll probably have noticed from the brick hauls we've been doing recently that we've got a whole load of new red parts as well, and that we're planning on swapping out the ball for the current year, which is the year of the tiger. So Ian designed the tiger, and in fact, until I was filming this video, we didn't have all the parts and we hadn't even tried this. So let's put it together and see if it works. Here's the finished tiger. It's all its glory. I'm not sure I'd describe it as majestic, but I think it's recognisably a tiger. We've tried to preserve the fact that the middle lights up, and we try to reuse as many pieces as we can from the ball as well, just to save on buying new parts. So it does of course still light up like the ball originally did, and that is by pushing the rear. And I think the problem we've got here is that we've got the red trans bricks to make the light come through, and then the black for the stripes. You can see there, but as soon as that light is off, this becomes sort of a solid colour. It's not as obvious those stripes are there, but it's still pretty cool. And I think the front is maybe a little lacking. This looks a bit of an odd shape, but again, it's trying to reuse the pieces from the ball. The tail I think is the bit that I like the most. I think the shaping on the tail just looks really cool. And of course, when you break something, when you build stuff, design something in studio, not that I've ever done that, but watching Ian do it, you can't guarantee how it's actually going to end up. And so in fact these legs, the parts he originally used, they didn't actually attach. They just sort of fell off. So we've made a couple of tweaks, but we will put some instructions together hopefully for this. Let us know in the comments below if you're interested in getting those instructions. I'm thinking of putting those as a perk in our Patreon if anyone wants to make their own tiger. So I'm going to go add that into the city and see how it looks. So I've added the tiger in here, and I'd say maybe it's a tad too large. I'm not sure. It's definitely bigger footprint than the ball was. It scared off that giant sheep that was there before. And I'm currently deciding whether I like the sort of feet elements, whether I want it to just be straight down like the ball was, like this. And I also think I need to get some plates, round see-through plates here, because it's too high and it means its legs are sort of flapping about, so I need to sort that out. But I'm happy with it. I think it looks pretty good in the grand scheme of things. You can definitely see it's updated for the new year, and it definitely looks like a tiger, so I think it's a win. So that's it for today's city update and our Chinese New Year special. I'd like to wish you a happy Chinese New Year for Tuesday, and if you've got any comments about the city update, let us know what you think in the comments below. Also, if you want to check out previous city updates, I'll link up our city update playlist now, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an update. See you later.